All right, folks, we're back again on air every Wednesday, as you can see. A hint of a couple of football topics with a hint of blue cheese. I'm your host, Jono, over here in New Jersey. Over on the river is the good captain. Shiv, say hi to the folks.
Hello, folks.
Excellent, good stuff. We're going to bypass the Carolinas this time because the good doctor is still in surgery and head all the way down to Florida to our man, Reef. Reef?
Hello, everybody.
Excellent. All right, guys. So I'm going to raise a glass to the start of the Premier League and got away. This first week, there was some great results, which we're going to discuss in a few minutes. But before I do that, I do a little bit of housekeeping. Let me finish off Ligue 1 in France. Paris Saint-Germain PSG finally got their first win of the season after playing 3 games and coming out blank in each of them. They finally beat Metz today with a score of 1-0. But Rennes is still on top of the league over there. And I, for one, am keeping my eye out over there in Rennes, especially as our backup keeper, Mendy, was purchased from Rennes to back up Kappa this season over with Stamford.
To back up Kepa or to take Kepa's spot?
Well, we'll discuss that when we do the second half, when we do a bit of hint of blue cheese on that particular subject. Over in La Liga in Spain. I haven't had that much to drink, I promise you. The Spanish have kicked off with Valencia sitting on top. And this weekend, the Bundesliga also sits up. The first game kicks off on Friday with Bayern versus Stuttgart. So looking forward to that particular game. Looking for that league to kick off as well. And later on, of course, as other teams start to return from... You know what's just really surprising is that in other places, like Man City never played this weekend, and Man United never played this weekend because of how they went in the Champions League and Europa League, respectively. Barcelona never kicked off this weekend, nor did Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid because of the what's the name. Yet still, Bayern Munich, who won the whole thing, right? Won the whole Champions League. They're kicking off this Friday. So I don't see where the excuses are that the other lot.
Barca played today.
Barca have they've kicked off, but they didn't kick off at the start of the season.
Yeah.
The Spanish season started last Saturday. The Premier League started last Saturday. City didn't start. All those Premier League teams who were playing later on in the Champions League didn't start. But in the Bundesliga, which starts technically on Saturday, the first game on Friday is being played by Bayern Munich. Now that's true champions for you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All right. Enough of the housekeeping. Away we go on the Premier League. Premier League kicked off. First game of the morning, bright and early, was Arsenal versus Fulham. How say you, Schiff, to not putting Arsenal in your top 4 and them winning 3-0? Speak.
It's Fulham. I mean, can we not get excited about them beating Fulham?
First of all, how dare you say that to Scott? I look like James Bond, Parker, all dressed on all nicely in his suit, auditioning for the next James Bond role as their manager. Go ahead.
I mean, I just saw the highlights of that game. I was busy diving at the time, but in the highlights, it seemed like Arsenal dominated Fulham. But again, it's Fulham. It's their first game in the Premier League. They never had their yo-yo club. They haven't spent that much money. Let's not get too excited. Let's wait till Arsenal play somebody.
Reef, how say you to Arsenal taking their chances whilst you're meant to take their chances?
All right. I said like that. Arsenal got lucky because they have the star of the game. And the star of the game comes from Chelsea. It's Willian. He is the one, he's assisted the most. He is the one who's been the man of the match. So Arsenal come from the get-go and start playing and want to win. And Fulham did not wake up to play the first game for the season at 7:30 in US. I don't remember what the time was in England. But My point is, Arsenal wake up and playing away and win the game, and William was the first game for him to play in Arsenal. And good job. And I said before, I'm extremely disappointed that we sold him. And I said before, and I repeat it, and I'm standing behind my word, mistake.
Fine. You know what? As the Disney movie says, Frozen, let it go. Let it go. All right, Shiv, how say you to Arsenal being smart by wearing blue so that William can
I mean, I don't think they did it for billion. I think they did it to get money, because now apparently we need 5 different shirts every season.
Yeah, it seems so. Yeah. Yes, it does seem so. So a good win for Arsenal, wouldn't you say?
Yes. I mean, they have to take their chances against the weaker teams, and they did well. Again, I'm going to wait till 2 weeks from now, because next week they play West Ham, who are just as bad, if not worse, than Fulham. So they'll probably get another victory, and then people get excited.
But the whole objective, let's put this, your words, right? These were your words. Against weaker teams, you've got to take your chances whilst the chances are there. Do you concur? Because Liverpool capitalized that quickly and got the points last season in order to establish themselves. Leicester, everybody was all in disarray. Fat Frank didn't know what he was doing. Ollie was just starting, all in disarray. Before you look and everything settled, Leicester was sitting second in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think taking their chance, they took their chance. But again, it's one game. Let's not get overexcited over one game.
One game. Who had Crystal Palace going down this year? How say you, Reef, to Crystal Palace coming in 1-0, solid finish with Wilfried Zaha waking up?
Crystal Palace played very well. I watched that game, and Wilfried Zaha played very well. I don't remember if I put Crystal Palace going down. I don't remember. I don't think so. But it was a good game, and I like Wilfried Zaha, and I like how he's playing. It reminds me a lot of Chelsea play of Drogba, like very strong and very playing aggressive, and I like this kind of play. I think Crystal Palace is going to finish in a nice place. I mean, like I say 9 to 15 in my point of view is good.
All right, I hear you. All right, listen, so the next game was played on this new Peacock. We'll give them a plug there, NBC's Peacock. It was West Ham versus Newcastle. Shift, some of us don't have Peacock. We're not as fortunate high rollers who go scuba diving in the Outer Banks of Carolina. How say you to West Ham starting their journey, heading towards the championship with David Moyes leaving this December?
I did not see a minute of this game. I didn't see the highlights because I only have so much time in my life, and I'm not going to waste it on West Ham and Newcastle.
Wow.
I think Newcastle did their business, and West Ham are going to do the same thing they did last season, trudge along till Moyes messes up so badly. They'll get a new manager, they'll win a few games, and we'll see. I still don't think they go down yet.
And to my beloved Geordies, good win there for Newcastle. All right, the next game, which was the highlight game of Saturday, was Liverpool versus Leeds. Gentlemen, I'll give it first of all to Reith. 4-3 Leeds to Liverpool. How say you to the fragile team that is Liverpool FC? That is why I didn't have them as champions this year. Go ahead, Reith.
It was a good game. Honestly, I did not watch Lee playing before that, so I don't know what to expect. They played very well, and every time Liverpool scored, they came back. I mean, Liverpool have the top hand in the end to win the game. It's 4-3, but it was a very good game. Leeds looked very, very strong. I don't think last season that Liverpool got 3 goals in the entire match. So it was like...
It was only one game, and that game was Chelsea versus Liverpool, that 5-3 game. Go ahead, carry on.
Okay, but look for the first game for the season very fragile or not completely like what we saw from the previous season. And don't tell me they're not being ready and blah, blah. That's all of this is nothing. Leeds look very good. I think Leeds can hold themselves very well up there in the top brackets of the top 10. And the most worrying me right now that I'm thinking about Liverpool and everything, Chelsea supposed to play against them this week.
I have no fear that Chelsea will put it on him, but we'll discuss Chelsea and Brighton in a few minutes. That's the last one. All right, Shift, let me throw this to you. All right, and I'm going to play devil's advocate and swing it around. Hollow victories are of no use in the Premier League. So therefore, Leeds had what you would call a hollow victory, but no points means nothing. How say you to I am wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. I think at the end of the day, people are overreacting because Leeds only had 3 shots on goals. They took their chances, and Van Dijk made a stupid mistake that he's not going to make ever again. Right?
Van Dijk's mistakes are becoming a pattern and a habit.
Yeah, they are, but he'll get it together. He's too good a defender to not get it together. Right? I think, like I said, Leeds had 3 shots on goal, 3 goals. That is not going to happen very often. That's a rarity. Liverpool had control over the game more than people give them credit for. Leeds had a lot of possession, and they play an attacking brand of football, but they weren't troubling Liverpool that much.
What game were you watching?
Exactly.
What game were you watching? There was stages in the game where Calvin Phillips had so much space in midfield because Wyman and Henderson wasn't fit enough to press and hit them. What game were you seeing?
Sure.
The amount of people, the team that had the most possession in that game was not Liverpool. It was Leeds. Check the stats.
But like they never threatened the goal except for 3 times. Okay, they threatened the goal 3 times. They scored 3 times.
Sometimes it wasn't 3 times. There was one point where Bamford went right through them, past them. And if it wasn't for what's his name, Alisson, it would have been Leeds in the lead. What game? What Reef, step in.
Okay, I'm looking on stats because I want to prove Shiv extremely wrong. I don't think he watched the game. Position, 51.2 compared to 48.8 for Liverpool. Shot on target, 6 for Liverpool, 3 for Leeds. Shot total, 22 compared to 6. Touch on the ball, Leeds, 695. Liverpool 661, passes 559 compared to 432. I don't know what game you saw.
Okay, again,
but hold on. Don't tell me Leeds touched the ball 3 times, score 3 damn game over.
Okay, again, go back to your stats and repeat to me shots on target and shots. Compare those 2.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Liverpool had 22 shots to 6. It was 22 to 6.
Okay, but shots is not all the game.
They took advantage of what they had. They were clinical. And it's clinical, not the pointed fit. All right, let me throw this to you, Shift. That the water in South Carolina got into your ears and messed up your equilibrium.
I was in North Carolina. Again, I think you guys, I don't know what game you guys were watching. Look at shots. Liverpool had 22. 22.
Look at touches, look at passes. What does that mean?
Okay.
Like in the Mourinho days, you can have all the possession you want if the possession means nothing if you're not getting chances.
Dude, look on Barcelona, how they winning game by passes and touches. What do you mean it's nothing?
Put it this way.
I don't think you watched the game. You watched different game, or you didn't watch the whole game.
You have a different TV. I know. You have a Peacock. Listen, all right, let me throw this to you, gentlemen. We'll put it this way and say this weekend's game between Chelsea and Liverpool is a big decider earlier on. Are Liverpool fragile? We'll see.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right. So we got through Saturday and we were all extremely happy, and we started Sunday. Sunday kicked off with and I put this to you. What's the name? Shift. This was a lucky believe it or not, Leicester City winning 3-0 against West Brom. If it wasn't for those 2 penalties, there was hardly anything in this game. But those 2 penalties that made that Vardy converted. I'll say you to that.
I mean, yeah. West Brom are like traditionally a strong defensive team, so it's hard to break them down. But correct me if I'm wrong, it's not like they had a lot going forward either, right? So I think Leicester just had a stroll in the park. Once they were 1-0 up, they just wanted to hold on to the lead. They attacked a little bit. They got the penalties. It was a normal Sunday for them where a better team won. Not a very exciting game.
All right. Okay. Right. All right. Then fair enough. Not exciting game. Later on that afternoon, Reef, it was Everton versus Spurs. How say you to Spurs? What's the name? Playing so poorly. So poorly.
I'm sure you know that I'm happy to see Mourinho lose. So, I mean, it makes me feel good inside. It was nice, Mourinho coming and hugging and all, how you doing, how are you, manager to manager, and then the game starts. And bottom line, after the break of the halftime, and Everton lead 1-0, and Mourinho cannot get nothing. His star cannot score any goal, dry as the desert. I don't see Mourinho and his team going far. I have to say that I see Leeds getting very far if they continue playing the way they continue. I see them getting far. My observation, my point of view. That was a good game, but I like to see Mourinho lost.
Fifth, it was the battle of 2 very successful managers and very successful ex-Chelsea managers. How say you to Uncle Carlos coming up on top of this particular battle?
I mean, James surprised me. I thought he was a little washed up. I thought he would take some time to get in to the Premier League, but he was really good in this game. Alan, he dictated the game a lot. Spurs just didn't have anything going forward. I think he's trying to build a defense, and it's going to take him a little bit of time. If he gets the guy from Real Madrid, I can't pronounce his name.
Reguilón.
I think it'll strengthen his back foot. But like Spurs are in trouble. They have 9 games in the next 21 days. They have to go to Eastern Europe twice.
They're actually in Bulgaria right now to play tomorrow in the Champions League. But there is no excuse. If Wolves can play that long and get themselves to the semi-finals of the Europa League, how say you to Jose, your boyfriend, Mourinho, getting excuses for this season? Sweet shit.
I mean, again, it's not about the excuses for this. This is a pandemic. It was a shortened off season. They've had no time, and I think they're going to be in trouble. But I think he'll get it together. I still believe in Jose.
Excuses.
Let's give it time.
I hear it every day.
Yes, let's give it time. Let's see if it all implodes on him. If they have a few injuries, I think they're lost. If they get Bale and Reguilón, they have some hope.
Very good. We've been joined by the good doctor. Good doctor, say in the Carolinas. Say hi to the folks.
Hello, folks.
Great, excellent. You are a man who has monitored Reguilón from his time leaving Real Madrid to do a good loan spell at Sevilla, winning the Europa League with them. It is believed by you who passed us the first information on that unfortunately Chelsea missed out on wearing that number 3 shirt which you have there, the Chelsea shirt, and then moving on to Spurs. How say you to Reguilón succeeding in the Premier League for Tottenham?
I'm pretty sure reggaeton is a type of music. It's regular.
Yeah, I know. I just want that it rhymes and so forth. And what's the thing? And so forth.
Oh, no. I mean, honestly, Reguilón will be a good addition to any defense, really. But, it's hard to say that Tottenham's defensive woes would be solved by a right back. They need more like they can't set. He would be a great addition to any team. He moves forward. He has good defensive actions. His numbers are pretty decent. He is a miniature kind of guy. He might not be Mourinho's type of physique in which he usually gets in his defense, but he's got a lot of spirit, so to speak. So he does move the ball forward quite a bit. Great addition to any team, but I don't think that he would solve their issues defensively.
Okay. All right. So that was Sunday's lot. And the next one we moved to was Monday. Monday kicked off
Let's go, Chelsea!
Monday kicked off with Wolves versus Sheffield United, with Wolves doing an efficient job against Sheffield United. How say you, Reef, to Wolves versus Sheffield United?
It was a good game. It was kind of reminding of last season game because both of them been in the Premier League last season. Both of them play up there in the Premier League. It was a good game. I'm surprised Sheffield United did not. I don't know. I didn't see what I want to see from them from last season. The push, the anger, the things that's going on. But you know, bottom line, Wolf won it. And good for them, you know. Raul Jimenez, again, man on the match. It was a good game. I enjoy it.
All right. Schiff, how say you to Sheffield United needing the backup of the crowd, their inability to really score anyway, but the use of the stadium, the crowd, has seriously seemed to have affected them since they've come out from this lockdown situation to the restart, that they just are being exposed and they may fall for second year syndrome. How say you to this, Jeff?
I think that's right. I think smaller teams like that really feed on their home support, and when you don't have that, the quality of the play is much more important, and they can't will their way into some of the victories they did last year. I think they'll struggle. They'll probably end up mid-table. And, you know, it was not an impressive performance. I missed the start of the game, and by the time I started watching, it was 2-0 already.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was in the third and on the sixth.
Yeah. And as to if Sheffield go behind, they really don't have a plan B to
come
start.
back. Yeah, that's very much so. You're absolutely right. How say you then, good doctor, to I'm gonna tell you how I feel. The poor performance by Chelsea, but getting away with a 3-1 win against Brighton. How say you to the game Chelsea v Brighton, good doctor?
Well, yeah, I would have rather not concede a goal. I would have rather our attack be like Havertz did well. Like he ran into spaces and he got the penalty for us and everything. But I feel like maybe starting with Ruben Loftus-Cheek I was expecting more, to be honest. He didn't have a great game to the point where Barkley replaced him and the game kind of.
All right, I'm going to give you a thing. I saw the tactical camera of this game, the tactical positioning that he was used. And I've said this to you guys from the off, that Timo cannot play as a number 9 because he cannot receive long balls. He's always on the flick on. So we used Loftus-Cheek was used up higher. So approximately, I believe about maybe 60% of his clearances from Kappa was direct, in the hope of hitting Loftus-Cheek and him given, with his speed, giving Timo the flick on so that he can charge like how he's done in the Bundesliga. Reef, how say you to this 3-1?
Okay, first thing, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's my observation. I don't think Loftus-Cheek played very good. I don't think it was a good game for him. I don't think so. I think it was a horrible game for him. For what I ever saw, they want to sell him for 25. I'm amazed that that's low. That's what you're selling something else. It was not a good game for him. a lot of negativity come immediately on Kappa because we got the goal. And all of a sudden we get in a new keeper that replacing him or back him up. I'm like, Shiv just said from the beginning, it's the first game for the season. It's the first goal for the season. So we're already finding a new keeper. I'm like so unhappy about it. In my point of view, man of the match was like James. It was fun to watch. It was fighting from the get-go. The goal that he scored is amazing.
Yes, it was.
I'm enjoyed to watch him, but like you said, after Chick did not have a good game. I don't know what you saw. I don't think he had a good game.
Schiff, how say you to Jorginho being man of the match, scoring a good penalty, and being able to play slightly in midfield?
I mean, he played well. I still not convinced by him. I am still not a lover of Jorginho, but he had Kante protecting him defensively. If Kante is not there, Jorginho gets exposed defensively all the time. So if he has Kante up there, he can do his fancy passes and be effective, which he was this game.
How say you then, good doctor, to the fact that there is no time for bedding in players, and that you've got to get your wins and get your wins now. And Chelsea got the win, but failed to be effective as, say, for example, Arsenal, which we were discussing earlier on, 3-0 over Fulham, effectivity. How say you to that, good doctor?
Well, if you were going to compare Arsenal to Fulham, like Fulham, when they were in the Premier League, conceded 81 goals.
And Brighton?
Three out of their four back line were in that 81 conceding goal campaign. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily like Brighton is a stronger team. I'm not saying it's a much better team, but they're a stronger team than Fulham, most certainly, right? I think what happened, even playing Kai Havertz over on the right, was like because we got him more on the allure that he was a second striker or play somewhere down the middle. So playing him on the right didn't necessarily showcase anything from him, really. He kind of had a very quiet debut. Like, respect that he lost the ball, went and won it back, and then came back with the ball. Like, respect. He did hustle, which is what you like to see in a midfielder, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, again, I would have much rather our forward line score more goals or be more active in terms of threatening the goal more than two of our defenders scoring. Be it, it's a win, it's 3 points, but like I would have rather our goals came from other venues or other outlets.
Schiff, how say you to Chelsea for Kappa having a reasonable game? How a reasonable game, but the clock has started ticking, and we are now looking at the possibility that we need to play Kappa theoretically every game this season in order to keep his value, in order to sell him. How say you to this?
I think at this point his value has gone down to the point where, like, Lampard doesn't trust him. If we get that keeper from Mendy. Is he coming for sure now?
Almost. The last I checked, he was having a medical. So
medical. I think we signed him.
We signed him. Okay, there you go.
Okay, so he's in there. Lampard does not trust Kepa. Yes, we want to play him to keep his value up, but if the coach has lost faith in a player, you can't really keep starting him. So I think Kepa drops to the bench, and we'll get from him what we get. Peanuts probably, but it's a situation we are in.
I think Transfermarkt has him is evaluated in the mid-20s now.
Yeah,
that's almost 50 million loss. Some heads are going to roll. So, and I put this to you, Reef, and I put this to you that Lampard has to boost him up, has to play him, because all Lampard is doing is that what he's saying. Check your phones, guys. All Lampard is saying is this. All Lampard is saying is this. You know what, Marina? You messed up. and no executive wants to see him mess up, and he's going to be saying it in the media. So go ahead.
So like, in all honesty, like even Lampard's more of a company man. You know what I mean? He's a company man. Whenever he's asked about Kepa, he's like, "Oh, we support him. He's our keeper, etc., etc." This is what he says out in public. I think Kepa didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a horrible first season. His second season, there was a significant dip.
Yes.
And yeah, in all honesty, David De Gea had a bad first couple of seasons, or first season at Man United. The only issue is that he was put on, like, Kepa's been put under the microscope for quite a bit, because his dip was like his save percentage was way
dramatic.
low.
It was a dramatic drop, and he's also the most expensive keeper in the world.
Yes.
So there's a price that comes with it.
That's
Two, Chelsea have got a £200 million or $200 to $300 million expenditure for this year. So 4, all you have to do, you got to win. You have a team to win the league, and the weak spot cannot be your goalkeeper. So he has to step up his game. Now, basically, Flat Frank cannot go around in public anymore saying, "Oh, I need a new keeper. I need a new this.
Well,
Kepa is this or that," because you're pointing the fingers at the management who brought Kepa. I get it. Kepa was not brought by him. It was bought during the time of Asari. But you better play him, boost him up, because all you're going to
I think he's
great enemies for yourself later on when you, Frank, come short of not winning the title this year.
I think what Frank is going to start doing after we fully secure the services of Mendy is that he may be using Kep to boost up his morale a little bit in the cup games and things like that, like in some of the competitions, just to boost up his morale a little bit.
The cup games are not he needs to be playing Premier League week in, week out. Reef, how say you to this?
Well,
okay, first thing I said is like that. In my point of view, as you say, if you want to not devalue the player, continue let him play. First thing, you have to let him play. If you bring in someone that worth 20 million and you have someone that worth 70 million and you put the 20 million on the field for the second game, 1 second shift, don't nod your head, listen all the way to the end, and you put in the person that worth 20 million for next week for Liverpool, you're making a mistake. You devalue your money because everybody see you playing the champion of the season of the Premier League from last season, and instead of to play the 70 million that you have, you're playing the 20 that just arrived. This is stupidity. The first thing. Second thing, I'm expect to see next week Silva playing in defense and organize the defense. Our defense was very, very bad.
Yeah, the reason why Silva may not be able to play is because he has to quarantine for 14 days. So I don't know if the 14 days.
I saw him in training.
Okay, there's difference between what's that? You saw him in training?
I mean, I saw video of him in training.
Okay, all right, then maybe the 14 days are up for him. But the reason why.
But my point about Kepa is Kepa need to play. You know, it's the second game to the season. Don't devalue the person. Don't take him down. You will, if you sell him for 10 or 15 or 20 million and you lost 15 million, this is a lot of money. This is not how you do it.
Okay. Can I say, like, everyone is talking about what he's worth, so we should play him. If he's not doing a good job, his value is just going to go worse. We play the player the manager thinks gives us the best chance of winning. If he's not good enough, which he was not last year, and if he continues to play like he did last year, his value is going to go down even more. You can say he's worth $70 million, so we have to play him. And what if we play him and he keeps on messing up? You don't play a player just because he's worth something. You play a player who on form. You play the people who give you the best chance of winning. That's what at this current
moment. Until Mendy accumulates himself to the thing, we have to play Kepa.
Yeah, okay. So we play him for another 2-3 weeks, see how he does. If he earns his place back, sure. But if he's still as weak as he was grabbing those crosses and like his stats on how many shots have been at him versus like how much he saved are abysmal. You cannot win a title. You cannot win a title with a keeper that is costing you points.
You
Okay.
cannot win a title, dude. You watch the game and you say amazing save by Kappa, and then Kappa got goal. He's at Kappa almost saved. He's at 3 or 4 saves in a game, and he's at 1 goal, and you're already crashing.
But we're not talking about Monday's game. We're
Yeah.
talking accumulation of everything that's happened. In the
I'm
past.
not talking. That was the past. That
Yeah,
belongs
but
to the
nobody
season.
talking
We're
about-
talking about the
really
new
talk about
season.
now.
We're starting a new season.
What we're basing what we're saying has been since last season. It's not news, right? He had a decent game. Nobody's disputing that he had a good first game. Like, it wasn't a bad game for him.
He had an okay game. He didn't have a
He had a
great
decent
game.
game. It wasn't
Okay game.
like we got a little lucky not to concede a second goal because like Dunk just hit it wide. But other than that, he's had a good game. Made some saves.
All in all, I keep on saying, at this present moment, I am not convinced by us. Our tactical play, where we are not using the fullbacks, because basically, I don't know. I get it. Kovacic was suspended, and so we didn't have a midfielder who could break the press. So we had to play Jorginho. But every time Basuma came straight onto him, he visited number 10. And as a defensive midfielder, when you hear, don't get visited by Downing Street, don't get visited by Downing Street, every time he got visited. We've seen him in games when he gets visited by the number 10, like Dele Alli drops in or a player drops in on him. He's ineffective. Therefore, we have to go long, 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 long. And guess what? The players which were sitting on the bench looking at the going long was Tammy Abraham and Giroud, looking at it going long, long, long to these guys who are ineffective, specifically Timo.
I don't agree with that.
You do not agree with that? That 67%, you do not agree that 67% of Kappa's balls was directly long?
Oh no, he kicked the ball long. But
Right. Okay. 2. Do you not agree that if you look at a tactical board, that the fullbacks were always free whenever we started from the line? You don't agree with that?
You're saying that Timo was ineffective. I disagree with Timo was ineffective.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Because you believe he was effective at going for the 67% of those long balls? How?
He did what he was supposed to do.
Which was what, Doctor?
We
had to bring Loftus-Cheek from the midfield to help up front.
Calma, guys.
Balls. Hmm? How?
I like if you see something different, that's up to you, man. But I don't think it's effective.
Okay.
That's it.
I disagree with you. Gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we're going to talk a little bit about Liverpool versus Chelsea. And then if the good doctor has his quiz, we'll do the quiz and so forth.
We shall.
And we'll be back.